And Billy, thanks very much from the Hartford Civic Center. Sold out. Big Monday presented by Bud Light. First ball goes into Mim, misses the jump hook. And it is Ding who is starting tonight in the place of Edmund Sanders, who comes down with the rebound.
We will see right now in this game, Ron, the best point guard in American, Khalid El-Amin, and the best inside player in American, Chris Mim.
Voskuhl at the other end misses.
Voskuhl's got to be active inside. He did not produce against Notre Dame when they were beaten here last week by the Irish.
Clay works against Freeman, picked up the dribble, now is in trouble. Back to Monecki. And he is off the mark. Here comes El-Amin.
Monecki's got some strong arms, baby. What guns that kid's got.
Morey can't get it to go. Both teams cold on the first two trips.
Well, Chris Mims drawing an unbelievable crowd here tonight to see him. Over 20 NBA scouts.
Monecki scores the first two of the night. Actually, Dick, 23 scouts representing 15 different teams.
They didn't come here to see you and me? That's unbelievable. I saw Jerry Krause. I thought he brought his checkbook for me. That was a nice move by Monecki. He's a power inside player.
Voskuhl, left-handed hook. And John Clougherty is going to call the foul on Mim. So the two starting lineups, Wagner, Clay, Williams, Monecki, and Mim. And as we mentioned, it is Ding getting to start tonight. Edmund Sanders on the bench. This is 3 games that Ding has started. El-Amin, Morey, Freeman, and Voskuhl.
One of the reasons they got Sanders on the sideline is because they're not happy with the way he's controlling his emotions on the floor. They really don't like some of his outbursts. He's had several technical fouls, and they want him to sit there and realize he's got to mature if he wants to be on the floor representing Connecticut.
Voskuhl, a rare miss for him. He's an 88% free throw shooter.
I met his dad here today. I can tell early in this game, one of their strategies, Ron, is to go right inside in the interior and get Voskuhl involved against Mim.
Gets the second one to go, 2-1. And quite frankly, with two excellent backcourts, I hope that they let him play a little bit more than that call right there was evident of. Monecki, turnaround jumper, too hard off the glass, and here comes El-Amin.
El-Amin's had a phenomenal year this year. Jimmy Calhoun can't say enough about him. He's an outstanding leader. Clutch, wants the ball. Great leader, just clutch player.
Working against Wagner, bodies into him and puts up an air ball.
He looks at the ref. He says, wait a minute, Curtis Shaw, I got contact there. This is my home floor.
Jimmy Calhoun, the coach who led his team to the national championship, and Rick Barnes.
He's really revitalizing that program at Texas. He's got everybody excited. Great recruiting class coming in next year.
Williams stepped on the sidelines to a turnover against the Horns. Texas 1 of 4 in the early going, and UConn 0 of 3.
Key player out here could be Albert Mooring. Albert Mooring had 22 against Pitt, 22 against Duke. When he makes shots, Ron, from the perimeter, they become very tough to beat.
It's a good matchup right here between Wagner and El-Amin, both about the same size and of equal quickness.
I was teasing Wagner before the game. I said I want to get in a high jumping contest against him. He won the NCAA, 7 feet 6 inches. Unbelievable. Now we're going to watch Voskuhl inside now, trying to post up. They're trying to get him involved. Little deflection. He's active here tonight. Wants the rock inside.
Shot clock is at 6, now at 5.
He walked. He changed his pivot foot. Good call by John Clougherty.
Jim Calhoun is up. Thought that a foul should have been called.
I'll tell you what makes Jim Calhoun so special. You heard me tell him today. I said, Jim, what makes you a big-time winner is your passion and your unbelievable intensity. And the fact is, he's always worried about today, not what they achieved yesterday.
Freeman with the block. Against Williams. Williams will pick up the foul. He'll go to the line for a couple.
Freeman, very strong player, very active player. Inside, outside. He's going to make a good defensive play there. There's the shot block, trying to kick it out in front of him. And here comes Mr. Williams with the contact. Texas has gone to a smaller lineup after about last 5 games. They've inserted Williams in the lineup, who had a groin injury. They become smaller, but he gives them a shooter, and it opens up a little bit more on the interior for Chris Mim.
Chris Owens, a 6'8" youngster, will be normally the first guy off the bench.
And a great kid, a kid who can really handle that role. It doesn't offend him in any way. He knows he's a very positive player and a guy that really is going to contribute here.
Rick is lucky that he has a guy that ego's not a problem for him.
And that's really rare today, you know, with some of the egos that are out there.
Well, UConn is 1 of 4 from the free throw line and 0 of 3 from the field to start this one.
And that's 1 for 7, and that doesn't make it in any league.
Three-pointer on the way. Wagner can't get it to go. Hit, I believe, by Texas. Nope, they're going to say that Bosco touched the glass.
You know what I like about both these clubs? Here they are right now with league season starting, yet they're not afraid to play each other. They realize competition like this is only going to make you better and better, especially when you got to go on a road in your tough league contests.
You know, for people who don't realize, these two coaches know each other well because of Rick Barnes' time at Providence.
8 and 6, Jim Calhoun against Rick.
That's Williams with the three-pointer.
And that's what he does really well. He's a guy that gives him that perimeter jump shot.
Bosco. Three-pointer on the way, and count that one for Mooring.
Albert Mooring, that's
essential that he hit, Dick.
Yes, they want that out of him. That's his forte.
Williams left alone, can't get it. Clay knocks it on the floor, and here comes Freeman. Nice job by Texas defensively as Wagner backed him off. Bosco on the run, way short. And a pushing foul, I believe, on Wagner.
Wagner, a transfer from out of North Carolina State, was recruited by Les Robinson, now the athletic director.
Well, now Curtis Shaw said number 3, Manecki, with the foul.
Jay Manecki last year had some problems on the court. He was almost like, basically, we talk about Jamal McGraw, who's had some problems with technicals, and Edmund Saunders, but they say he's really under control this year, controlling his emotions.
Owens checks into the lineup. Also, Suleiman Wan, number 34, 6'11", 240. From Senegal, comes into the lineup. And also for Texas is Darren Kelly, a junior out of Forestville, Maryland, who wears number 25. Three-pointer on the way, not there. And Texas comes away with the basketball.
Kelly will give him some offense off the bench. He can produce points. He can make plays.
Clay, who got that rebound just a moment ago, puts up the 3. He's not there. And Owens has the rebound and then has it knocked away. It will go to UConn.
I think
so there's a timeout on the floor. Texas on top by 1 with 15:52 left in this opening half. Before Texas leads, just over 15 minutes left to play. A couple of All-Stars you've talked about in this game, but your first 5 as far as All-Americans in this country.
Well, you know, if I had to pick an All-American team based on productivity right now, there's my 5. Murphy's been sensational for the Irish. Kenyon Martin's been unbelievable. Elamine Richardson and Mim. Those 5 guys, to me, have really produced at the midseason, and they go all of them right now. I give them A+. I'm a high marker, Milan. I lay out those grades, baby.
Freeman back to Elamine.
Zone defense right now by Texas, and that's certainly not a defense that Rick Barnes likes, but I think he scouted that Notre Dame game, and it was a 2-3 zone that really bothered Connecticut.
Elamine tries to save it. Nice job by Doug Wren, who has just come into the lineup.
Elamine trying to fix his shoe.
Long 3, way outside, and whistle and a foul. And they're going to call before the shot the push on Texas.
Well, they got one on, I believe, on Connecticut.
Yeah, well,
look at him
Doug Wren.
Hey, both teams really cold right now, frigid. I know it's a little cold outside, but you got Texas 2 for 9 and Connecticut 1 for 6, and both teams trying to push the ball up the court. But good defensive transition, sloppy offensive execution. Kelly
just threw it away. The grimace by Texas didn't mean anything. Wren is the man they called the foul on for UConn.
The trademark for Texas, Ron, is defense. That is a strong suit of Rick Barnes. Half-court trap right now.
Freeman saved it. This is Mooring. Now it looks like Will Clay drawing Elamine as he has switched with Wagner.
There's the zone defense.
Now they go back to the zone, so it's Wags out on top, and the three-pointers. Mooring knocks it down.
I'll tell you, Albert Mooring, a great rhythm shooter, and if he gets in the gap in the seam of the zone, he'll make them pay for that zone.
Kelly left alone, and he swishes it.
You got to
Jim
make
Kelly is Jimmy Calhoun is up, and he's saying, hey, we got to make contact with this fella.
Yeah, he can shoot the ball.
Maureen trying to make it 3 in a row, and he does.
Albert Moore trying to go back-to-back with great games, coming off that Pittsburgh game where they blew him out in the second half.
8 quick points for him. Owens inside. He is a nice player.
He's an inside-outside player, but he's very physical and very strong, good low post moves.
Texas with a 1-point lead. Transfer from Tulane. He's from Duncanville. Had some knee problems. Got that surgery during that off year. As Wren skies inside, reverses it and scores. That's a nice move.
That's a major league move on the interior right there. Good reverse baseline drive. Good execution. Texas went to a 1-2-2 half-court trap. Sometimes has the look of a 1-2-1-1.
UConn up by 1, 11-10. Wagner driving and has the shot blocked by Maureen, and he got numbers, and Wren will miss the layup, and let's see who they're going to call here.
Wren going to the goal, got fouled, took the ball up on a good tough angle. He's very athletic. He's a guy that can give him some quality minutes. Going to watch him out in transition. Here's the kick out. 2-on-1 break, takes the ball up strong.
Kelly commits the foul. 4th team foul on Texas.
I tell you, Connecticut recruits all over the nation. Wren from out of Seattle. They've had a history of recruiting players. If you can play, they're going to find you. Chance to earn some QT. Now going to watch the diagonal pass. There's the dump down, and there's Wren. He's going to finish it off with the reverse left-hand layup. See, last year they were a little bit smoother in terms of they had one unit, and that's what Jim Calhoun talked about. There was such a tight-knit group with Richard Hamilton and Ricky Moore added to the 3 guys that came back. I really believe they miss Ricky Moore so much defensively, and what a catalyst he was.
Another 3-pointer on the way. Owens will come away with the rebound, muscles it up, and he was fouled. Robertson and Marcus Cox have come into the ballgame as Jim Calhoun. I think that's like 10 players he's had on the floor already.
I tell you, Richard Hamilton certainly gave him the great score, and as you look at the numbers here, and it wasn't numbers that made Moore such a catalyst as I talked about earlier to this club. It was his defensive ability. It was his ability to make big plays. In the final game against Duke, in that brilliant performance, he set the tone early in that game. He set the rhythm for that entire game.
Owens well short on that one, and he is a 58% free throw shooter. Wren goes to the bench. He picked up his 2nd foul, so he is out.
But at least he came in and gave him some positive minutes. The one Achilles heel when you look at Texas is shooting free throws. Shooting only 62% as a team.
Misses the 2nd one, and Mim tries to knock it away. Ding touched it, and now here comes UConn. This is Cox, the freshman out of Bridgeport.
Robertson has scoring ability. Cox, good little ball handler, getting some minutes now.
Freeman turns around and says that pass was off my shins. Make it a little higher next time.
Both coaches not afraid to go to their benches. They'll utilize their bench.
This time last year, Rick Barnes only had 6 players.
Well, he's starting
as many as 10 now.
Well, he's starting to get that cupboard really full. He's got a great recruiting class coming in next year with Brian Boddicker from Duncanville, Texas. I'll tell you also, Brandon Mouton coming in, 6'6" kid from out of Louisiana, Ron. James Thomas. They got a kid, Freddie Williams, a great junior college player. Also an outstanding talent from out of Georgia JUCO.
Mim sets out high to help break the pressure. UConn leads it 12-10. About to go under 12 minutes left to play in this opening half. Play back to Owens. Tip by Mim, wouldn't go. Tip again, and UConn comes away with it. That's Ding.
Ajou Ding got good skills.
Blocked inside by Owens.
They want the goaltender right there. Count to 2, and I think they got a legitimate argument on that call, Ron. I think they missed that baby there. A little interference. Chris Mims, a great shot blocker. Now here's the rotation. There's the pump fake.
This is Owens that got it, though.
Yeah, it was Owens coming from the weak side, and I definitely believe he got that ball coming down rather than going up.
Owens, he gets hacked and no call. Suleiman one. Probably should have picked up a foul. Was not given one. And at the other end, the running soft touch with Tony Robertson.
Tony Robertson finishing the play. Ajou Deng did an excellent job handling the rock in transition.
It's going to be Cox. Texas has missed their last 5 shots.
I'll tell you one thing about Texas. They certainly haven't dodged playing big-time programs. Every game's already, but Arizona, Michigan State.
39 left until halftime. It is Connecticut to 14-10 over the Texas Longhorns here on Big Monday, presented by Bud Light.
You know, I was talking to William Clay before the game, and he was telling me he guarded Eddie House, the young guy who went bananas and got 61 the other day. I said, William, how did you stop him? He had 2 for 9 against you in Texas. He said, I didn't let him get the ball, baby. I didn't let him get the ball. Hey, we got to salute Eddie House. That is just incredible. You hear this, people? He scored 61 in a double overtime win. They needed every one of those points to beat California from Arizona State. 17 for 30, 18 for 19 on a free throw line.
Inside to Manecki. They get help on him. Back to the corner. This is Wagner for 3. In and out. And Owens on the follow.
I really like Owens. You're right about him. He comes to play. He comes off the bench. He hustles. He's an intense competitor.
Ding picked up that foul. Here's an interesting note. The 2 stars of the game we talked about, Elamine and also Mim, neither has scored.
I know. We gave him too much PR early, and both guys have let us down. Hey, Rick Barnes was a great choice to replace Tom Penders, who I wish things would have ended on a little better note than they did. But Tom now down at George Washington with Sir Valiant Brown turning him loose. As you look at Rick Barnes, 3 years in a row, he went to the NCAA tournament at Clemson. In fact, 1 year he went to the Sweet 16 and got beat by Minnesota, who went to the Final Four. That was, I believe, in 1997. That was the year Arizona won it all, when Minnesota was at the Final Four.
Owens gets them both. I think his last year at Clemson, he lost to North Carolina and Duke, I think 5 times by a total of 18 points.
And that'll frustrate you.
That just frustrates the heck out of him.
You got to say bye-bye, baby. I feel so bad for Larry Scheid, a great guy who's really having a tough time at Clemson.
Well, Big Monday presented by Bud Light continues with the 3rd game of our triple header at midnight. Number 24, Utah.
They're in that zone right now. They're going to make Connecticut make some perimeter shots.
Morey with the fake, got Williams off his feet, still misses the jumper.
Both clubs really outstanding rebounding teams. Both have +7 margins. Texas coming over that big win over Baylor where they held them to 43 points.
Wagner a little too hard off the glass. Puts it back up, and he got fouled. I don't know if it's Voskuhl or not. There were several sets of hands in there, but I think it was Ding who got his second.
You talk about a skywalker and a high riser, an elevator man. It certainly's got to be Mr. Wagner. Not too many are going to jump like him. Here's Mim trying to get inside position. We're going to watch them right now attack the glass. There's Wagner bouncing off the floor. 7'6" high jumper, won the NCAA championship. He's got a big ring to prove it.
Before this night's over, we'll show you a video of that. Actually, 7'6½" when you consider he jumped 6.5 inches higher than Chris Mims' head.
Wow. And he had knee surgery as well. Started his career at North Carolina State. Here comes Saunders right now. Going to get some minutes. Hey, what about today at practice? I'll tell you one thing, Jimmy Boeheim, I guarantee you, Mr. Syracuse, Jim Calhoun was singing your praises. He said they are loaded. Syracuse is loaded. Did he not do it today?
Yep, that's true. That's true.
They are outstanding. They're the only unblemished team in America. But somebody's going to get my guy Jimmy B a map and show him how to get out of Syracuse. They got to show him where the airport is. 2 months, he never left Syracuse.
I think he likes the home games, huh? Wagner on the bench, getting a breather.
There's that zone. You see, went right in the gap. The Voskuhl stepping up.
Morey, a lot of hands up there, not there, and a tip by Saunders.
Hey, Saunders, he does that. Plays hard and gets to the glass. He'll get back his minutes. He'll get his PT. as that token 2-2-1 press.
Williams, nice feed to Owens. Count the basket, and Vasco will pick up the foul. And Jimmy Calhoun was all the way out on the floor.
What a big lift right now Chris Owens has given him coming off the bench, the former starter. As you look at Jim Calhoun, certainly one of the stars in coaching right now in America, putting together unbelievable numbers.
Well, it was Jake Vasco who was frowning, but Tony Robertson got the foul. It's his second. And Owens missed the completion of the three-point play. He's got a total of 6. Now under 10 minutes left in this opening half. Freeman.
Dribble penetration into the gap of that zone will get you good shots as well. Ball movement always helps. Skip passes against the zone.
Travel called against Robertson.
You know, you started the season over in Puerto Rico. When I look at their season, they won their first game over Louisiana Lafayette, but then they came back in Puerto Rico and beat Arizona State, DePaul, and Michigan State, and that sent a statement out that they were going to be a legit contender again for the Big 12 regular season, which they won last year, finishing 13-3 in Barnes' first year.
Talpin, number 21 in the ballgame. He's the long-range gunner. They get it inside to Mim. And Jim Calhoun wants a timeout as Texas goes back on top, and it's the first 2 points from Mim at the 9:25 mark. So let's take a break. Texas by a couple. We'll be back with more from the Hartford Civic Center after this. 18-16. A lot of notes being taken here tonight. The 23 scouts on hand.
That's all the NBA scouts working that sideline. And they came to see the big guy, Mim, trying to get post position on the interior down to the low block. You're going to see it right now as he's trying to lock inside. You're going to see him get good. Freeze it right here. See, right here, he's going to try to set up, and they're going to try to get the angle pass here, and they'll use the drop step. Right there. There's the great drop step to the inside, and there's the jam. He learned a lot of those post moves, he told me today, from Pete Newell at Pete Newell's camp. One of the great teachers in the game of basketball.
Pressure on El Amin, and Vasco has a tip, and here's Mim with the turnover.
Peter Newell did such a phenomenal job when he was coaching Cal, won the national championship. Darryl Imhoff, a name and a pass, Mr. Franklin.
Manecki puts it on the floor, short, he's shot.
That's a bad shot right there. Manecki really throwing up Brick City, USA there.
And McAlpin guilty of the foul. He's going to come right out.
McAlpin's a kid who was a walk-on. They gave a scholarship, an excellent long-range shooter. He's building something special down at Texas. I mean, that's a great university down in Austin, as you know. Living in Austin, it's just a great, great school. And with the kind of recruits he's going to add to this mix next year. Has a huddling job by Clarkity. Make sure they get it right with Hillary.
Well, the foul was after the shot is what they were explaining. And Rick is hot right now, and he's hot at Gabe Manecki, and he took him out. And the youngster William Wyatt, who's only played 3 games with this team.
He's very high on him, played really well in his first game against Houston.
El Amin gets his first 2.
Just a matter of time. Had a big game against Notre Dame, but it wasn't enough to offset the brilliant performance by Troy Murphy at 33 and 16 rebounds. A genuine bona fide All-American for the Irish.
Owens left alone, and he passed. Williams wasn't ready for it. That's going to be a 3-second violation against Mim.
Both clubs really out of sync offensively. You don't see a smooth offensive set because both clubs do such an outstanding job physically on a defensive end. Everybody's losing shoes. Everybody's losing shoes. Vasco lost his shoe. We had El Amin lose his shoe. It's shoes night. It's shoes night. You better not show the company that he's wearing a shoe from. I mean, look, there's not a spring the camera on us, but he didn't tell us it's coming. What are they doing to us, partner?
I was working on my shoes. Oh, my. Tied at 18 with 8 minutes and 20 seconds left until the halftime.
I'll tell you one thing, Texas is going to win a lot of games in the Big 12, but that conference has some strong basketball in it with Oklahoma and Oklahoma State and Kansas.
Nice turnaround by Freeman, but he couldn't get it to go, and he's had a problem offensively.
And now
the lob to Mim.
He can catch and run. Oh, Vasco from the back. Had a little contact on the body, no call, but he got ball. Vasco from out of Texas, played at Houston. You're going to watch them kick it out in transition. Look at Mim run the court. See, this is what the NBA scouts like, that he can get out in transition. There's Vasco. He's trying to earn some merits with the NBA scouts here tonight against Mim. So I would go inside to Mim right now. I'd go right inside.
Saunders and Owens will foul him. So there's a timeout, 7:52 left until halftime.
Texas foul number 20, Chris Owens, his first personal foul, 6th on the team. Timeout on the floor.
UConn knotted at 18 with 7:52 left until halftime, and some of the schedule highlights of the Huskies.
Well, you know that loss there to Iowa in the first game against Steve Alford really shocked America to set up a consolation matchup for Duke. Mike Krzyzewski and Jim Calhoun. Jim Calhoun in the last 10 years has won 6 Big East Conference regular season championships, 5 in the last 6 years. Went to the Final 8 4 times since he's been there. And to the national championship game last year, winning it all, bringing the gold back to Storrs, Connecticut.
Mooring not there. Nice job of hustle by Saunders. And that ball tipped by Wagner.
If Connecticut is going to make a run for a national championship, they need Edmund Saunders and Solomon Juan to be contributors inside, and Jake Vasco's got to be active. They can't just rely on Elamine to carry them day in and day out. Those other guys have to be consistent contributors, and I believe Maureen's going to step his game up. Texas really knows how to play defense. They help, they show for one another, communicate.
Freeman off the mark, and Mim pulls down another rebound. Tied at 18, about to go under 7 minutes left in this first half. Quickly inside to Mim. It's a nice entry pass. Saunders with the block.
Little double team. They're rotating 2 people on Mim, and from the backside, they have rejected 2 shots on him coming from the offside. See, now he does a great job spinning single reverse, getting good post position, but he doesn't see Saunders coming from the rear. See, I think somebody's got to introduce some of these players to Chris Mim. I don't believe he gets enough touches of the basketball, Ron.
A great week of college basketball continues tomorrow night with a Super Tuesday doubleheader. Number 10, Indiana, at number 11, Michigan State, and number 23, Kentucky, and number 5, Auburn.
I can't wait to get down to Auburn. I haven't been there in many a year. I'll be there tomorrow. See the Cliff Dwellers. They go bananas down there cheering that guy Cliff Ellis on. Nice drive. Kelly can score off the bench. Kelly and Owens are excellent players coming off the bench for Texas.
Wyatt will pick up the foul.
Wyatt's an interesting story. He had that knee injury
his junior year, and in fact his knee was so bad that he didn't work out that much his senior year. They just tried to play him in the games. Came to Texas, had to have surgery. Actually, Stanford and Texas were the only 2 teams that actively recruited him. He decided on Texas and made the dean's list the first semester while he was having the knee worked on again.
Just a quality young man. Spoke to him before the game. He's so excited to be back playing now. And he's really strong as you look at the knee brace. Very strong for them against Houston in their first game. Rick Barnes really thinks he's got a heck of a future. Very strong physically. What do they feed these guys in Texas? They're so strong.
There's some big lads that play inside. Fell at the lines the same way. In fact, Saunders and Manecki played on a U.S. team in Europe together this summer, so they know each other in their physical ways.
There's Elamine, who works really hard on the defensive end as well. See, I'm one of the guys that believes he can play at that next level. Some people think he'll have a major problem. I think Khalid Elamine, with the right team, with some big people to protect him, he can certainly get some minutes in the NBA.
Wagner picked up the dribble.
And I believe he will be going. I think this is last year's farewell in Connecticut.
Tried to get it to Mim. Couldn't hold on to it. Kelly on Elamine. In and out. Unlucky on that one. And Manecki comes away with the rebound.
Got to give it up and get it back. Give it up and get it back.
Kelly can't get it to go. Good job of positioning inside. Saunders kind of wild with the elbows.
Well, that's the one thing. He threw a flagrant elbow. Got a block there. That's an All-American call. Could have been a charge. Could have been a charge, but sometimes as an All-American, you get those calls. That's one of the areas, as you see right here, the defensive player rotating over. Ooh,
Shoulders down.
Ooh. It's one of those you can sit here all day. Does he get to the spot? You can debate that all day long. The one thing that's upset Jim Calhoun with Edmund Saunders was his flagrant of throwing an elbow, getting a technical foul. He said, we don't need that. We don't need that to hurt the team. I just love the competitiveness of this kid. I'll tell you one thing. He comes to play, Ron. You just put him on the floor, and he comes to play. I hope personally he comes back to school. But all the kind of inside talk I hear is that he most likely will make himself available for the NBA. And Connecticut's got a kid coming in next year. Remember his name from New York City, Talik Brown. Outstanding point guard.
Elamine, an 86% free throw shooter, gets them both. He now has 4. And the home folks go back on top by a couple.
Always finds a way to win. Texans always hang around because of Mim's presence inside and their defensive ability.
Monecki gets double team, picked up the dribble, and he's going to get it back to Clay.
Dump it inside.
Wagner for 3, got it.
Wagner says, I don't have to dump it inside. I can knock the perimeter. Mim must get frustrated. I see him posting, making great post moves, and doesn't touch the ball enough.
Bosco, that's a walk.
You see the same I see as you watch the big fella inside. Nothing more frustrating to a 7-footer and to a coach when you have a great big player and he doesn't get a lot of touches. This guy right here, I tell you, he's ready for the movies. He's ready for the movies. If I only could look like that, I'd be a TV star. Why couldn't I have his hair?
You had hair like that, didn't you?
Wow. I had a crew cut. It all disappeared at East Rutherford High School in New Jersey.
Here's Mim with the turnaround.
Again.
Blocked by Vasco.
Well, Saunders and Vasco, see, they doubled up on him.
Now, let me ask you something. That is a foul down here, and at the other end, he's been hammered 3 times, and there's no call. They need to make up their mind, Dick.
Well, you got to be consistent. There's no question. You got to be consistent. There was contact on this end. I think what got Mim down here was the offside. Now watch him right here. He's going to catch the ball. I don't believe it's Vasco. See, I think it's
it was Saunders from the side, and that's what I'm saying. He hammered him on the arm.
I'll tell you one thing, though. Chris Mim is a good-looking prospect. I can see why people love him. I'm just watching little things. The way he runs the floor, his hands, the way he drop steps and posts inside. There's Freeman attacking the basket. There's Mim rotating back. I mean, there's no doubt about the contact across the arm right there. He got body all over him. Quiet in this arena. Usually it's much more lively.
But you know what? See, this is more the executive set, and these are not the students that you get when they play it at home. And boy, they're next to impossible to beat at home, as you know.
Oh, I love Gamble Pavilion. I told Jimmy Calhoun I'd forget about the extra 6,000 seats, and I would just play right at Gamble, baby, because it would be tough. That's a mini version of Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Freeman is now 1 of 4 at the free throw line.
A great respect for Jim Calhoun. He's such a fighter, and he's battled his way up to stardom. He did a great job at Northeastern. He's just a flat-out winner. All you have to do is watch a practice session.
Wyatt with the turnaround, not there. Bosco clears and quickly out to Elamine. Got it to go.
That was a great play right there. That was an unbelievable play. That's a playmaker. And they talked about that today. They said we don't have enough playmakers like we had with Hamilton last year. Elamine certainly is a playmaker. Now the crowd is getting alive. There's the passion of the Connecticut fans. Husky hysterians here now, Mr. Franklin.
Wagner, that's blocked by Mooring.
Get a TO, baby. Get a TO. Husky hysteria has arrived. Here come the Huskies. Gonna watch the kick out. There's Albert Mooring stepping up on the three-point line in transition, knocking down the trifecta. And here's the change of direction. Khalid El-Amin setting the stage with a little one-handed shot with the knee up in the air. You don't see that too often as you look at fast break points.
12-9 in transition. This equals the largest lead by UConn of the night with 4, 27-23.
I'll tell you one thing, you live in Austin and the climate must be very positive at what Rick Barnes is bringing. I tell you, the Lost Dodds made a great choice. Barnes, a star in the coaching fraternity, worked his way up. When you think of George Mason and Providence and Clemson, and now at Texas where he absolutely loves it.
Hickory out of Hickory, North Carolina. Finger roll won't go. Manecki puts it back up, and he's hammered by Voskuhl.
I'll tell you, Manecki really working on the glass and kept himself under control there. I think last year he might have lost a little control. Rick Barnes had a talk with him and said, hey, we're not going to accept that, and we're not going to tolerate that. Some of the nonsense, throwing punches, etc., when people aren't looking. You heard about it last year, Ron.
Well, he suspended him, and he told him if it happened again, his career was over. As simple as that. So the youngster really hasn't had any problems since then.
And that's what I like about both guys on the sideline today. They are in charge. They want to win. They love their kids, but they want them to understand you play the game hard, but you play the game fair.
Manecki misses on the second. Voskuhl clears. We're under 4 minutes left until halftime. UConn quickly in transition. And there's a timeout. 3:41 remaining until halftime, and it's a 3-point lead for the Huskies. We'll be right back. Remaining until halftime. Mooring, outstanding game the last time out, and he has picked it up here again this evening.
Yeah, he's giving him that weapon from the three-point line. He's attacking the basket, pulling up, shooting the medium-range jump shot as well. He's making things happen. He's making plays, and that's what they need from the wing. And oh, did they have a playmaker there last year in Richard Hamilton. Look, he's got ice on his thumb, too. He's got a bad thumb.
He's got that left hand taped, protecting the thumb, and they've got ice on it while he's on the bench.
I love the way the Texas kids get after it defensively, and that's a reflection of their personality and their coach. He's just a fighter, and he's going to battle you, and that's exactly the personality we see out of these kids.
High screen, the switch. Owens lost Saunders for a moment, just inside the three-point line. It's not there. And followed by Cox.
You know, I was mentioning the great recruits coming into Texas, and they're certainly high on Boddicker from out of Duncanville, Texas, and Freddie Williams out of junior college. But also Connecticut's got some class coming in. Karan Butler from out of Maine Central Institute. Talik Grant I talked about. In fact, the Big East cleaned up in New York City. Got all 3 super point guards. Omar Cook going to St. John's, and Andre Barrett with Tommy Amica, who will be a star in the coaching fraternity. Give him 5 years for what he's going to be doing now to Seton Hall, where they're hot right now at 10-2.
UConn 8 of 13, Texas 5 of 9. Dick mentioned earlier that 62% for the Longhorns. UConn shoots them a little better than that from the free throw line, and Cox gets that one to go. This is their largest lead, 5 points, 29-24.
You know, Ryan, you can battle and battle and battle. If you don't make free throws, it really comes to hurt you, especially in close games.
You know, UConn in this arena against non-conference opponents, 58-1.
But they normally don't play the kind of quality non-conference opponents as you're seeing out here tonight in Texas. I mean, basically a lot of their tough games and their schedule will get stronger, their RPI rating, as they start playing within the league, because the league is a lot better than what people believe. We look Syracuse and St. John's with that backcourt of Barkley and certainly Thornton. Seton Hall's gotten better and better. Villanova's not a cupcake. I mean, the league is so much better. Providence now with Kareem Shabazz.
Look at Owens' battle inside. Can't get it to go. Manecki skies. He couldn't hold on. And here comes UConn with
look at him make the
behind the back, and they missed the shot.
Don't tell me this kid can't run the break in transition at the NBA level. I don't want to hear people tell me that. Khalid El-Amin makes plays happen. You can see why he was wanted by Kansas and Georgetown and Connecticut. Minnesota thought they had him, had a commitment verbally. Here he is in transition now. They kick it out, and he knows he's going to get it back. 2-on-1, he's going back to his partner. He's got to convert that. I want the assist.
Lawrence Williams with his second foul, 10 team fouls against the Longhorns.
Now you talk about also the Big East. I mentioned earlier Notre Dame, and certainly Boston College now with this kid Bell has been sensational. His diaper dandy. They've won 6 in their last 8. Al Skitter's club.
Suleiman Wan comes in with the clock showing 2:58 until halftime, and Jake Voskuhl will go to the bench.
Matchup I can't wait to see is Syracuse and Connecticut. Up in Syracuse, I'll do that game at the Carrier Dome. I can't wait to get up there. Freddie Grimaldi's place, great Italian food. But I'll tell you one thing, Jimmy Boeheim's got an outstanding team this year. His starting 5 can flat out play.
Wagner suspends at the free throw line, and Owens again on the offensive boards.
Owens and Monicki give him really some outstanding rebounds. You take a look at the new top 10. Arizona with that big win over Stanford moves into number 2. Cincinnati back up on top, has only one slip to Xavier in a cross-town shootout. Auburn, I think Auburn now, they're getting versatility now, and they're getting a deeper team because now David Hamilton's there and Jamison Brewer. As you look at some of the surprises last week, Vandy beating Florida. They got a kid, Dan Langley, in that game, scored 31, but Kentucky shut him down big time. Kentucky beat Vanderbilt by 20. Kevin Stoley's doing a great job. Kentucky-Auburn tomorrow night is going to be one heck of a matchup.
Owens only 2 of 6, and that's twice he's barely drawn iron. He's got 6 points in the evening.
And, you know, he really eliminates himself from having a big night, and he works so hard.
He's
such
great
a
at the
job.
offensive boards.
Yes,
he really
sir.
is.
And you got to convert those. You come up empty with all that effort.
Suleiman Wan comes away with the loose ball. Chris Ogden, number 45, a freshman out of Seminole, Texas, checks into the Texas lineup.
There's the zone right now. They're changing defenses, trying to keep Connecticut out of any rhythm. Going to the zone, Texas.
Bellamy, nice bounce pass. Freeman was fouled.
I tell you, he makes plays for people, Ron. He gets you the ball, and you got to deliver and make it happen after he gets it to you. A lot of great point guards in college basketball this year. Kid Barkley, certainly an outstanding point guard. We're going to watch him on top right here. Freeze it right here. See, he's going to get right in his gap, and he's going to create the angle and make the pass in here. Now watch him. See, he attacks the gap, and there's the little dump down to Freeman, and Freeman's got to convert. But I'm talking about great point guards. Eddie Cota down in North Carolina had a big game in the win over North Carolina State. Went 8 for 8. Finally shot the basketball. Take a look at some of these great point guards. I mean, Eric Barkley was sensational for St. John's tonight. Scooty Penn had a big game the other day. He and Red hooked up and scored 45 between them to beat Minnesota. He's got one of the best big kids in America, Joe Prisbella. One thing, they're not shooting well on a free throw line, but Connecticut cannot get away, Ron, from this Texas team.
Suleiman Wan picks up the foul for being over the back on the rebound.
Wan gave him some positive minutes. As you look at Mims sitting on the sideline, gave him some positive minutes earlier this year, but the last 2 games hasn't been as productive as they'd like. They've been very physical, doubling up on Mim inside, rotating people over, and that's really created a problem for him to get free on the interior.
Well, Owens is really fighting it now. Took an extra couple of moments at the free throw line, eyed it in, and he was still well off the mark. 2 of 8 at the free throw line.
He's a transfer from out of Perry Clark country down to Tulane, where Tulane has put together a heck of a club this year. Had a nice win over North Carolina State. And we're beaten by Louisville. I tell you, Louisville, the way they have come on. Denny Crum, the Hall of Famer, has regrouped that team.
Got this one to go. Texas has been scoreless since the 5:19 mark, almost 3 minutes here just before halftime.
And it's because they haven't been able to make free throws.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're going to get teams that are going to put them on that line. There's a look at that zone right now. It'll be a dogfight in the Big 12 with Kansas, certainly to me, still has the edge. I like that Kansas team. As you see the wing jump shot, Mr. Morin.
Morin again. Morin now has 13.
See, he spreads the defense. When he's making that wing jump shot, it spreads the defense, and that makes even Elamine more effective in penetrating.
Largest lead, Monicki can't hold on.
They got to watch and try to keep this from getting the double figures.
Yep.
Psychologically, that's a big edge, especially when you're struggling scoring points. They ran into a real defensive dynamo when they went down to Wisconsin and got beat by Wisconsin. They said they couldn't believe the great defense. As you see Mooring with the kick out, and there's Mooring with the jumper, catching that kick out pass. I think Bennett, he can teach some defense out of Wisconsin.
Yes, he can. Coming up on the Courtyard by Marriott halftime report, Chris Fowler, Digger Phelps standing by. Georgetown of St. John's, Digger on the Big East, and Utah San Diego State preview. That one coming up at midnight tonight.
You know, it's a one-sided street. I give Digger all this publicity. I talked about him today about how Matt Doherty's brought that unbelievable swagger down there at South Bend basketball, reminiscent to the days when Digger had the white carnation on and he was strutting that sideline in the 70s and the 80s. You realize this? Notre Dame has not been in the NCAA tournament since 1990. And that win here last week over Connecticut should really get them into that hunt.
Checking back into Texas, number 21, Chris McColpin.
McColpin comes in, and Wagner will go to the bench with 1:28 left until halftime.
He can shoot the ball, McColpin. They told me great things about his ability to shoot the perimeter shot.
Off of 66% from three-point range. Has not been to the free throw line this entire year.
Well, he's the kind of guy you'd like at the free throw line.
Owens. Boy, nice pass from Manecki. Had the cutter just the way he wanted it, and they turn it over. This is an 11-2 UConn run.
I'll tell you one thing about Owens, though. He just keeps playing and playing hard. Now, here's Manecki now going to get doubled up. He's going to throw a little diagonal pass. You got to catch and convert that. He's anticipating contact coming from the weak side. Five-second violation. Good defensive play right there by Texas. They really pride themselves with their defense. Dave Bliss has won 9 games this year versus 6 all year they won last year, Baylor. But they said after that game, they said the defensive effort of Texas was unbelievable as they only scored 43 points.
Under a minute until halftime. Clay wanted badly to take the three. Manecki falling away.
Wow. I was going to say bad shot, but you know what? We yell, good shot.
7-point margin. Here's El Amin. He only has 1 assist this half, which is surprising for him.
Because they've been able to, he's made plays. They haven't caught the ball and converted.
3-on-1 break by Texas, and Clay will pull up and hit the 5-footer.
What a nice grade. What a nice kid. Talking to him before the game about that performance against Eddie House when he held him to 2 for 9. See, this team, they don't go away. And the reason they don't go away is because they defend and they rebound. Those are 2 trademarks of Kentucky and of good teams like Stanford.
Owens picks up that foul with 9 seconds left.
Connecticut's played against some quality competition as well, as we showed earlier, playing Duke. And Duke on fire right now. Mike Krzyzewski's kids getting better and better as the year progresses. They found an inside presence now in Carlos Boozer.
At the line for Connecticut.
Said the foul was on Owens, and it's his second. Suleiman Juan at the line, a 66% free throw shooter.
So important to have guys that can come off your bench like Juan, like right now playing people like Robertson and Saunders off the bench. That's Chris Mim, not happy sitting on that sideline. He worked so hard last year. He went to summer camp, went to Pete Newell's camp. Also played for the World University Games team.
1 of 6 for him tonight, 2 points. Juan makes it a 36-29 lead. Tech's going to have to hurry. Under 5 seconds. Clay left alone for the 3. Would have counted had it gone, and we are at halftime.
Texas 29.
So our halftime score, UConn 36 and Texas 29. Now let's go to Chris Fowler and Digger Phelps with the Courtyard by Marriott halftime report. Gentlemen.
Dick, thank you. 2 guys we talked about at halftime of the first game. Albert Mooring stepping up from behind the perimeter. And the All-American Chris Mim with just 2 points at halftime.
UConn's done a great job with the team defense. They've doubled down. He's only had 2 points, 4 rebounds. Big factor shutting him down the first half for UConn.
If you follow UConn closely, you notice something tonight.
Oh, Calhoun, any big game, he chews a lot of gum. A lot of
he's working in that gum.
on the big gum.
Chris Mim, as we watch the big guy inside. He's locked it inside. There been some times where it looked like he might have been fouled, but the bottom line, there's contact taking place on the interior. Now here it is. He's going to try to get free again against Juan. Juan tries to beat him to the spot. Now he's going to post, drop step inside. Now it's the offside. There's the offside coming over. Could have been contact there. There's the drop step to the score on the inside by Mim. Only 2 points. They need a big second half out of Mim if they're going to win this game.
9 blocks, according to the stat folks from UConn. Free throws, 13 of 22 for the Huskies, 6 of 14 by Texas. Mooring with 13, Elamine with 7, Owens with 7, Manecki and Wagner with 5 apiece.
And if Owens would have made free throws, he certainly would have been in double figures.
Or some of the putbacks if he'd gotten them in. You're right. Oh, Williams jumped all the way over his head. That's a jump ball. And the arrow says it will go the other direction.
I tell you, when you look over in that matchup going to take place in that Big 12 with Kansas and Texas hooking up, you and I will do that game in Austin, and that place will be rocking. Boys Club got a nice win over Colorado on the road. There were a lot of people who thought they might get beat down there at Colorado.
Clay gets it inside to Mim, and the jump hook knocks it down.
I'll tell you, that jump hook is unstoppable once he gets down in that box. Chris Lang has a great jump hook from North Carolina.
4 points now from Mim. Bosco gets the follow.
That's the kid that I've seen on numerous occasions, and you wonder why. You wonder, for example, how could he possibly play the minutes he played against Notre Dame and come up empty?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
no
incredible.
points.
That's incredible with his size and his skills and his ability.
Well, Manecki got floored by Bosco. Cross-court pass, 3 on the way. It's not there. Clay battles for it, and here come the Huskies. They throw it right back to Wagner.
Very physical. Both teams are very physical. Mim can step out and make the open shot from the perimeter as well.
Well, that didn't touch anything. Here comes Elamine. Lawrence Williams way off with the shot. And in transition, 2 more for UConn.
What a nice pass by Colin Elamine. Little John Bagley. Remember that name? Played at Boston College. Colin Elamine, a little John Bagley. Received that little note from Dick Hoops Weiss of the Daily News.
Manecki misses it, gets the follow, can't get it to go.
See his heads up all the time. Elamine always has good vision of the floor. Throw it into Bosco. Let him get some touches. Let him feel part of the team inside.
Elamine off the
What
ding.
a nice dish. Are you serious? That's why he's an All-American. The 3D man. He drives, he draws, and he dishes the rock. Creates it with dribble penetration into the gap.
3 of 4 for the Huskies in the second half. Texas 1 of 5.
He has gotten better and better. He's even got his body in better shape, Colin Elamine.
Well, that one is off the mark by Williams.
Look at that pass, right on the money. There's the dunk. Get it to you, baby. Get it to you, Ricky B. Colin Elamine made that pass. That's Connecticut basketball. Transition, rebound, kick it out. Fast break clinic, 101. Starts with the rebound. And look at the head up. There's Elamine, the head up, the kick out. And a poor job defensively in transition by Texas. Now look at this here. Split the gap, and there's the little handoff. Made like a little quarterback. Hey, speaking of quarterbacks, great reaction out of Florida State. Chris Winkie coming back.
A little surprised at that, actually.
Yeah.
Second half, Texas 1 of 6, and UConn is 4 of 5.
I was talking to Chris Mim before the game. He said he went to school with Drew Brees down there at Westlake High School.
Westlake High School in Austin.
Both guys played tennis. I think it'll be a shootout next year. I don't know football like Chris Fowler and certainly you. And I think it'll be a shootout between Mr. Vick and Mr. Brees for that Heisman. It's a danger time right now for Texas. Really a danger time. They either can scrap back into this game. They got to play it in 4-minute segments now. Rick Barnes has got to hope for a little spurt that gets this to single digits. And they got to hope that Connecticut doesn't go on a spurt and blow it up to the 20.
And Freeman picks up that foul.
Connecticut foul number 33, Kevin Freeman. His first personal foul, first on the team. At the line for Texas.
He's a 68% shooter on the free throw line, Chris Mim. Westlake High School. Played with Luke Axtell, didn't he?
Yeah, he and Luke were seniors together. Ooh, coming up at midnight, Big Monday presented by Bud Light. Number 24, Utah against San Diego State.
Steve Fisher now coaching on the sideline down there. Kano Mentalon, I showed the picture of him as Mim converted both. He had a big game against Texas, scored 32 when he came back. They got that long winning streak at home.
It looks like, is that going to be Owens that picked up the foul? That's 3 on him.
When they played Notre Dame, Mr. Murphy was absolutely super. I'll tell you, he was inside, outside. He made all the big plays. Troy Murphy had 33. And they just wouldn't let Connecticut get back in the game, even though Mr. Elamine tried to carry him on his back.
Number 2, William Wyatt, the freshman out of Grand Prairie, will come into the ball game, and Owens, who just picked up his 3rd, will go to the bench.
I don't think you're going to see the real Texas kind of program where it's heading for at least a year or two, where they're going to be right up there with the nation's elite day in and day out. They're still going to win a lot of games this year because of Mim, as you see Elamine with the score, but they are a backcourt player away from being outstanding.
13-point lead now. Elamine all of a sudden with 9 points. Relatively quiet in the first half.
He's really made some great passes, though, Ron. He's created opportunities for his teammates. Very unselfish player.
Manecki back outside, and Wagner with the 3. Unlucky on the shot. And a whistle inside. Looks like Bosco.
Got to knock that open 3 down. When you're struggling and trying to get back in the game, Manecki created that opportunity. Wagner's right on the rim, but it doesn't fall down. I just look at the recruits and talking to people that know the kind of people they're bringing into Texas, and I can tell you the people down there are going to have a lot to smile about.
It was the 2nd foul on Bosco.
Connecticut zoning on the inbounds from the baseline.
Manecki for 3. That's well off the mark.
He's averaging 13 a game, but not shooting the ball as well from the perimeter.
That was Mooring who skied for that rebound. Really did a nice job. Freeman strong to the hoop. Tipped out front and knocked back away by Mooring.
Dang, he's a skilled player. He's got to get physical, got to get a little stronger, but he's got excellent skills. Sat last year out.
Dang with a total of 4, and that's Mim.
I'll tell you,
about 22 feet.
I mean, here's an example why the NBA scouts love the kid. He can go inside, outside at 7 feet. He's 5 for 8 now from the trifecta. Look at the scouts. They look bored right now. They look bored. Somebody wake those guys up. Oh, look at him. See a handle between his legs with a shake and bake. Didn't go anywhere with it, though.
He doesn't have much to shake. He's 6'10", 205.
Oh, I don't know. I sit here and I'm shocked when I read this kid get 0 in a box score. I really do. I mean, 6'11", he can use either hand inside. He played well in the NCAA Final Four last year. They did a great job containing Elton Brand on the inside.
Manecki blocked by Deng. So we'll take a break with 14:43 left in the ball game. 50-36 UConn as Bosco picked up an easy 2 inside. Moving around Manecki. UConn by 14. Elamine averages over 30 minutes a game and is UConn's undisputed go-to guy. And there's been talk that he's wearing down, but they'll tell you, don't worry, I'm ready.
Whenever we need a basket or whenever, you know, the team looks for me to make a basket, I can be there. And I work hard over the summer to put myself in that predicament. So when we get down in the late stages of the game, I have the ability and I have the energy and I have the confidence to take the shot and hit the shot. So I'm not going to wear down. I know that's just a myth out there. I'm ready to play 40 minutes if I have to play 40 minutes.
Well, his numbers tonight, 9 points, 4 assists, has 1 turnover.
I really believe he can play 40 minutes. The kid just loves to play. He's a gym rat. He just wants to play basketball.
I'll tell you, his assist to turnover ratio is very good. Texas down by 14. And as Dick said, they got to be patient, and they can crawl back in this one. 3-pointer on the way, and that goes from Kelly.
That'll help you get back in the game. He gives him that instant offense. He provides it right away when he steps on the floor.
Kelly with 8.
Connecticut's had a little problem focusing, staying focused in their games. Warren staying focused right now.
Real focused. 16 points. 4 threes for him.
They almost blew a big lead against Houston. They were up by 28, won the game, but it got a little interesting.
Freeman with the takeaway, and Freeman thought that Elamine was going to be a little quicker than that.
You know, Kevin Freeman was the MVP in the Big East tournament, has not really played right now like an MVP. A lot of people think maybe it's the adjustment to a new position facing. He's very strong, very physical, and a very vital part of his team. And remember, expectations are a little different here, Ron, than at most places. It's not about getting in the NCAA tournament for Connecticut. They have built their program to that level. They're great fans. Their fans absolutely love the Huskies.
Kelly high off the glass, tipped by Mim. Another tip by Mim, wouldn't go. Nice job by Suleiman.
Yeah, now put it in the hands of Elamine. You got to put it in the hands of your little guy. He'll make something happen. A little shake and bake.
Mim with the intimidation there.
He's a shot blocker, and he's also a shot changer. His presence on the inside. Dump it to him.
Wagner for 3. Mim tries to tip it, but Juan with great position.
Hey, Ron, when he's got a guy on his back, he's got to get the ball. He's got to simply get the ball. Talking about Chris Mim, posted on the inside.
Well, Sports Center with Dan Patrick and Stuart Scott coming up right after the game. Tonight's headline stories include, will the Cowboy coach ride off into the sunset? A question of the night, most unusual football finish, and who deserves election into the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Wow, that sounds like a Hall of Fame duo in the studio. Scott and Patrick, what a dynamite duo that is. That's big leagues, baby.
Mooring for 3.
He's the bomb tonight, Stuart. He's the bomb. Albert Mooring is the bomb.
That's 5 of 5 from the floor outside the arc.
We talked about him at the top of the show. He's the big guy in terms of so important to this club, providing that offensive spark that Richard Hamilton used to provide.
Well, the foul is on 55, Doug Wren, his 3rd.
That was nothing but the bottom of the net. Mr. Mooring. Take a look at three-point shooting right now. Texas 5 for 17. Connecticut making the most of them, 5 for 8. And Mooring, Connecticut 5 for 5 tonight.
At the line for Texas, Gabe Manecki will shoot 2.
That's big-time shooting in any league. You know, you look at the Big East, I'll tell you one thing, Syracuse is not going to go away from people. One of the tough luck guys in all of basketball has to be Gail Catlett. They play against Syracuse tomorrow as another free throws missed. Think about it, he's got to play all his games away from Morgantown because they had that asbestos problem in their gym. Bosco leading the cheers on the sideline.
Well, Elamine and Mooring both going out of the lineup along with Doug Wren.
They had a big barbecue over Bosco's house when they played Houston. Somebody said even Jim Calhoun got on a ball, was riding a ball. I would love to see that. I'd pay to see that, baby. Maybe he had a cowboy hat on, too. Cowboy boots, he made like George Strait.
Saunders tried to get the follow, couldn't come home with it. By the way, Mooring, if you go back to the last ball game, Vic, he has 9 threes overall.
That's shooting the basketball. Nice dish inside. Nice play.
Got it to go down.
Nice play by Wagner. Good penetration, created the opportunity. Monecki strong on the inside. Good physical presence. He's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger with that body.
That guy.
Wow. What a body. Freeman played at the same high school as Mr. Tim Thomas, who went to Villanova, now in the NBA with Milwaukee with the Bucks, where they got Ray Allen. He's got game, Mr. Allen.
Shot clock is at 7. Saunders against Monecki. Got him in the air and then reversed it.
He's got ability. There's no question he's got ability. He's just got to focus and concentrate and play basketball.
Saunders will pick up the foul.
Yeah, he and Monecki going at it inside in a low post position, trying to keep himself under control, though.
10:59 left in this one, and it's all UConn, 58-42. UConn by 16. We talked about Wagner back in the first half and his leaping ability. This is 1997 and the NCAA championships. If you can believe this, I say little fella at 6'1", and here comes an attempt at 7'6½".
Wow.
As we mentioned, this would be 6.5 inches above Mim's head.
That's incredible. Look at the emotion. Look at that body. He's a guard out here. Solid team player. He and Clay just do what has to be done in terms of winning. They're not really what you would call skilled point guards, but they basically competitors.
5% body fat on him.
Wow. He's got a body like mine.
Well, I thought that when I saw that on their chart. Mim, they get it inside to him, and he misses the short jumper, and then Mon.
Didn't go up real strong right there. Should have attacked the basket. He got the ball in deep. Now he's got to take this up strong. Drop step to the basket. His defensive help, though, rotating over. Saunders has done an excellent job of coming over and giving help all night long.
Well, they didn't give it to Suleiman one. They gave it to Saunders. Both had an arm on there.
I think the one thing right now, Jim Calhoun's got to be pleased with certainly the way his team's played defensively.
Fourth foul on Saunders, as we mentioned it. Look at he and Monecki are standing there talking, and I mentioned that they played on a team in Europe together. Both very physical guys. Saunders going to the bench now with 4 fouls. And Gabe will sit down and get a break.
Hey, you saw Iowa State. Iowa State's a pretty good basketball team with Marcus Fizer.
I am a huge fan of his, and a lot of people don't get to see Marcus. I know that you got him listed in one of your future lists coming up about some unsung heroes. Boy, talk about physical individuals at like 6'8.5", 265.
Yeah, very strong inside, knows what to do, has good hands as well.
Clay tries to make a steal, gets it away, and is blocked by Deng.
I thought that was a great play by Clay to create that opportunity to be able to go to the basket, make that steal, and that's what we were talking about earlier. He and his buddy back there, Mr. Wagner, they just do little things that lead to winning. You're going to see him right now in defense. There he is, right in the lane with the deflection. Now he's going to pounce on a loose ball and take it to the basket.
At the line for Texas, William Clay will shoot 2.
Had a great talk tonight with one of the architects of the Big East Conference, Mr. David Gavitt. Certainly always great to see the former commissioner. We're talking about some guys who we think should be coaching in college, and one specifically, John Calipari. I really hope John Calipari. There's a look at the commissioner sitting there with Mr. Perkins, the athletic director of Connecticut. These 2 guys know a lot about administration, I'll tell you that. Mr. Gavitt and Mr. Perkins, 2 big-time PT peers.
You know, there have been people who have suggested that if basketball had such an office,
he should be the head.
It's going to be, that he should be the head of college basketball. And it makes a lot of sense.
You read my book. It's in my new book. Dennis, and you set me up with that. It was in there. Dickie Weiss and I in our new book talking about Dave Gavitt would be perfect in that scenario.
Owens battles again, misses from in close.
Suleiman Wong with another rebound, working on the inside. Good move by Elamine. Didn't have an open opportunity, brought the ball back out.
This is Freeman. And a blocking foul called on Will Clay. First one on him.
Very tough game to officiate, Ron. There's so much contact out here. Both teams really get after it. Rick Barnes has done an amazing job everywhere he's been. There's a look right there. There's the block. I mean, he did a phenomenal job with Clemson's program. Solid job at Providence. Won the Big East Championship in '94. In fact, beat Connecticut in the semifinal.
Suleiman Wan left alone. Freeman tries to sky for the rebound. Clay comes away with it.
Got several guys that went on to play in the NBA in that team. Weston Crocier now playing and getting a lot of minutes with Indiana, the Pacers.
Clay with a little jump stop.
Just Clay with that little shot on the lane. Also, he had Dickie Simpkins on that team in the NBA and Eric Williams with the Celtics.
Don't forget, coming up immediately following our game, SportsCenter is next.
This game's not over yet. If they go on a little spurt here in the next 4 minutes, they can make it exciting. They got to dig in and make it happen with their defense, which is their strong suit.
Suleiman Wan has it knocked away by Kelly. With Texas only 28% from the field, 29% from three-point range, and now at 50% from the free throw line, 11 of 22.
You know, I love the skills of Chris Min, and I love his ability. You know, he's my choice as the best center in America, but I'd like to see him be a little bit more emotional, a little bit more active, a little bit more into the game in terms of just getting after it a little more, Ron. Now, you've seen him a heck of a lot more than me.
10 points and 8 rebounds from him.
He's averaging 18 and 11 and 3 block shots. Will ultimately become the all-time shot blocker in the history of the school. Needs 25 to catch Mr. Prevent. There's all the NBA scouts. These guys are all sitting here, relaxing, taking a night off, watching college hoops. That must be great, going around the country seeing college hoops.
Manecki's second foul. You just take a look here at all the teams represented.
Now, here's the quick question. Who's not here? Who's not here tonight?
His second personal foul, fourth on the team. Kevin Freeman will shoot 2.
The Lakers are not here because they know they're not going to get anywhere near to get Mr. Mim and company. And what a year they're having. Phil Jackson, I mean, is he worth his bucks? Kobe and Mr. Shaq doing their thing. And Jerry West, one of my favorites. One of my favorites. As a player, as an administrator. Very quiet. This is not your typical Connecticut crowd. They used to be very active, very involved, very emotional, very sitting back, very quiet here tonight. Only had a couple of times where they broke loose.
Manecki puts it on the floor, goes with the left hand. That is a very athletic move for a guy of his size.
Well, I remember when Tom Penders recruited him and brought him into, they really expected great things out of Manecki, and he's had himself a solid career. Last year came on strong. This year averaging 13 points. I think sometimes success spoils crowds because the bottom line is the expectations. You just expect winning, winning, winning. You get spoiled, Mr. Franklin.
Well, ESPN's going to head to the ACC for a doubleheader on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, Georgia Tech against number 7 Duke, and at 9 o'clock, number 14 North Carolina will take on Wake Forest. And this year, Tobacco Road can boast some of the great freshmen in America. How about Williams from Duke, Boozer from Duke, Forte from North Carolina? Boy, those are some impressive numbers that go along with those youngsters as well.
Well, North Carolina's gotten a little bit stronger. Won 2 games in a row in the ACC at home. Had a nice win over a good North Carolina State team. They got 8 for 8 out of Ed Cota shooting the ball. They're going to have to play, though, against Mr. Davey Odom and Wake Forest because they're a very dangerous team, especially at home, even though they lost to Florida State. And Rod Hale, had 37 against them.
11-point game. Texas trying to bring it into single digits. It's been a while.
One thing about the Texas kids, they don't back away, they don't quit, they just keep fighting.
Mooring, as we've mentioned, 9 successive threes for him if you go back to Saturday. So, boy, he has just been lighting it up.
And that's what they've been waiting for. He came in with that reputation out of high school. Offensive char, foul called on Mr. Elamine.
7:58 left in the ball game, and we're going to stay right here as Texas will get the ball after the offensive foul. And now Jim Calhoun wants a timeout. 59-48. We'll be right back.
Timeout on the floor.
7:58 left in this one. An 11-point ball game. Texas gets the ball back. Let me ask you quickly about UConn. Can they beat Syracuse on the road? Can they beat them up there?
Well, you know, they can beat anybody on a given night, but the bottom line is right now, I better be real quiet. I don't want people to hear me because I talk loud. Right now, I don't want these Connecticut fans to hear me. I would give the edge right now to Syracuse up there because, one, it's at the Carrier Dome, even though Connecticut's played well there. Number two, they are playing so well together. They got so much experience. And right now, when I look, as you see that drive right down the lane by Texas.
Single figures now.
Connecticut has it moments where they just go in and out. They're just not playing consistent, big-time basketball for 40 minutes.
59-50. They take it out at double digits. And let's see if Texas can get a stop here on defense and put the offense to work again.
And you don't know what you're going to get from that front court. I mean, against Notre Dame, they were 4 for 14. They did not produce. And here comes Connecticut.
Red with an air ball.
Connecticut on defense. And Texas now has a chance to really cut this gap. See, now if I'm Mim, I got to come up and make the play and want the basketball. I'm an All-American. I got to get free. I'm 7-1. My teammates got to get me the ball.
Dribbled it off his foot. 16 seconds on the shot clock. And Clay will pull up, going the opposite direction, and a whistle and a foul inside. And it looks as though it's against Manecki for the push.
There's Mim and Voskuhl on the interior. A little touch. They both know each other from the state of Texas. Played high school in Texas. Oh, nice block out by Voskuhl.
Replacing Doug Wren.
On a neutral floor, I'd probably give the edge to Connecticut. But up there at Syracuse, the way they're playing right now and the way Connecticut's struggling a little bit, they're not really in sync at this time like I think Jim Calhoun would like to see them. Mooring has stepped up, and so has Elamine, but the front court has not stepped up and been consistent.
Mooring had that block by Williams. This is an 8-1 run by Texas. Manecki got away with the travel.
You got to get active right now, Chris Mim. He's got to want the ball. See, he's standing. He's easy to guard when you just stand and you're stationary. You got to flash to the basketball. That would hurt if this goes down. Good job by Texas not allowing him to get that shot. Good perimeter defense. Jumped right in Mooring's face.
Mooring for three. In and out. Unlucky. That one went halfway down and then came back out. Gets it to Mim, and he will score.
See, that's what you got to have.
And Mim went down as he ran into a stool or something at the other end of the floor.
Scary right there. Just Mim running the court in transition, showing why a lot of the NBA people love him. His ability to run the court. Here he is with the good catch, the good run, and the conversion.
Over here. Over here. Okay, you want it over there?
Looks like he ran into a stool. You're right, Ron. You can't see it in that shot. They took him out of the lineup. First half and second half, as you look at his numbers, certainly improved. He's got to be a little active. He knows people are going to really play him tough and try to beat him to the spot. Oh, what a screen in the back. No call in the back court.
Voskuhl in and out.
Manecki's really attacking the glass.
Here comes Clay against Elamine.
This is getting interesting right now. Connecticut fan, you're going to get a little nervous.
Owens.
Not a good shot.
Now, when he changed his mind, it looks as though, and now Manecki upset that he thought he got fouled.
Shot selection very poor right there. Here comes Mim back on the floor.
Texas substitution.
It's the stool that is sitting down there that Chris Mim ran into.
Everybody's got problems with their shoes today. There's another situation. Now here's the screen. You got to communicate and let him know he's setting that screen. Somebody's got to let him know that screen is coming up. You're a teammate. You got to talk to your teammate. Screen on the right, screen on the right, screen on the left. You got to communicate. Shoes are falling out. Everybody's tying shoes. I don't make my 5:30 departure for the airport with all these delays. I got to get to Auburn, baby. I got to get down there for that Auburn, Kentucky game.
59-52 with 5 minutes and 36 seconds left.
I tell you, Rick Barnes has to be pleased with the effort of his kids. I mean, they have not backed down. I'm sure he's not pleased with execution, but the effort has been there. Kelly checking on me. That's a tough matchup out here. Gotta watch that 5-second count. Within 6 feet.
Morey, nice spin move inside, lost the handle on it.
Tipped right here. It's tipped right here. Tipped off the hand.
And the ball's going to stay with UConn. Sports Center coming up immediately following our game. Stuart Scott, Dan Patrick standing by. 7-point game right here. Shot clock is at 7. Now it's 6. Elamine runs into the double team.
Double dribble.
And they're going to call double dribble as Wagner came over to help out defensively. And now Texas can make it a 5-point game.
Well, see, right now you got to set a screen up on the interior, and you got to get Mim flashing to the basketball. They got to give Mim right now some touches inside. He has a tendency to hide in a low block and doesn't get himself active enough to get the basketball. And he's so talented. Got to want it. Now he's moving a little bit.
Texas only has 1 second-half turnover, which has helped this 10-1 run.
Bosco matched up now inside with Mim.
It's going to be Elamine. John Clougherty makes the call.
Really a sloppy game, man. Absolutely no rhythm whatsoever offensively. No continuity, no flow.
Second personal foul. 8 on the team.
Jim Calhoun was really a lot of fun to be with here this afternoon. You and I had a blast in this empty arena with Mr. Calhoun.
You can tell how badly he is great friends with Rick Barnes, has a lot of respect for him, and you can tell both of these coaches had extra long sessions with their team yesterday and also today.
Oh, they're really intense competitors. I can guarantee you that. They really worry about today. What they did yesterday. I mean, Jim Calhoun's not worried about they win a national title. He's worried about what we're going to do this year. And I mean, he was setting up. He was singing the praises of Syracuse. I thought Syracuse was ready to be the greatest team that ever played the game.
5-point game here with 4:40 left.
Getting dangerous. See, we talked about focus. We talked about the fact they've had a history of that. And there's John Clougherty with the call and going back the other way.
Nice defensive job by Will Clay.
Uncle Mo has swung to the side of Texas. Again, providing that whole axiom. If you guard and you defend and you rebound and you protect the basketball, you got a chance to win.
UConn, 15th turnover. That shot is off the mark. Here comes Elamine.
Nice transition basket there. Beat Texas up the floor.
That ends that 12-run run. Good job by Tony Robinson. Gets it to Mim.
See, nice little cut down the gut of the defense by Mim. Active. Managing the clock now. Handling the basketball at the end of the game. Becomes big. That's where Elamine should become a major factor. Gonna watch the little trail man. There's Mim trailing. Right down the gut of the defense. Hands up. The big fella catches it and converts. Playing in these kind of environments, playing this kind of level of competition is only going to make Texas better when they have to go to the road to places like Kansas and certainly Iowa State, Oklahoma State, all tough places to play. But a two-man game. Elamine going to use the screen. The screen and roll.
It's free and he'll jam it home.
Great two-man play right there. A little screen, little release, little roll, little deuce. And get the fans hopping in joy.
7-point margin. Just under 3.5 to play. Mim at the other end. And again, that jump hook.
He's got an unbelievable future. His sky is unlimited at how good this kid can be.
He's got 16 points. He had the foul a moment ago. His third and the team's 6th.
Got 14 in the second half. He really hasn't had the ball that often either.
Well, they got caught in the switch there, and Elamine knocks it home.
He just made two great plays. He made the screen and roll play happen with Mr. Vasco, and then he knocked down the open shot. And that's what all Americans do. They make big plays when their team needs that helping hand.
Three-pointer on the way, off the mark. Mim and the follow. And a timeout called by Texas with 2:41 remaining, and it's back to a 6-point margin.
Which is a two-possession game.
Yeah, we got to handle the big throw. Now we're going red.
Elamine, 12 points and now 7 assists on the night. But the big thing is just what Nick was talking about. He is your money player. And they want, when they know who wants.
Here's a little Connecticut two-man game. It's going to set up with a screen up on top. Freeze it right here. See, he's going to set up the screen, going to try to use the screen, and then release Vasco to the basket. There's the screen up on top. Now he releases. The team rotates. Nobody steps out. He's got the open lane, and there's the jam and a finish by Vasco. Colin Olamine, a PTP'er, baby.
As I started to say a moment ago, he's the guy they want the ball in the hands of, and you can see why after the last two possessions and scores by him. Mim, by the way, has made his last 4 shots.
He can also make free throws and try to clear out the side. Got to watch that 5-second count, though. Stepping out, got a mismatch.
Knocked away and stolen by Texas.
I tell you, they really get after the ball, deflect the ball, they attack the basketball defensively.
That's the 16th turnover against UConn, way outside and way off the mark. Wow.
That's an area they really have to work on. Rick Barnes, who understands the game, has great basketball knowledge and skill, has really got to work with them, understanding shot selection as to whom should shoot the basketball. Vasco giving his body up on top. See, now Mim's got to communicate. He's got to say, Kelly, screen up high. Get over the top of the screen. I'll show. Ooh, they got to switch now. See, now you got Vasco wide open.
Misses it to tip inside, and Mim is fouled by Vasco.
In a two-man game, you got to help and recover. You got to hedge, step out, and then get back. Oh, if I could only have a head of hair like that. One time in my life, if I could only have a head of hair like that. And there's the release. Vasco with the catch.
Vasco with his third, and he'll come to the bench.
Yeah, Vasco over the top. Over the top. Frustration. He's had some good moments here tonight. Now, he gives them positive play inside along with Saunders and Juan. They beat anybody in the Big East and anybody nationwide. They played so well against Arizona.
You know, an interesting thing when you look at the comeback that Texas has made has been very quiet, but they're right here with a 6-point margin and Mim at the line. But Dick, only 1 second-half turnover, but they're shooting only 32%. Those don't go hand in hand. And then front end of and they threw it right back to Manecki.
Connecticut not sharp at all here in the last 10 minutes. See, last year they had a killer instinct. Connecticut would put you away. They get you like this, they would have put you away. And right now, it's a whole different ballgame. They're letting teams hang around with them. But let us not forget they've only lost twice.
Sports Center with Dan Patrick and Stuart Scott coming up with the Cowboy coach right off into the sunset. Question of the night. The most unusual football finish and who deserves election into baseball's Hall of Fame. All of that and more in Sports Center immediately following our game.
Well, you know, why not give the job to Jerry Jones? What the heck? I mean, give him the job. He owns the team. He loves the coach. Put him on a sideline. Get the headset on him and let him coach.
Suleiman Juan knocks it down, and that's an awfully big one right there with 1:24 left. 67-60.
Well, it takes it to a 3-possession game right now. 3 for 3, 67% for the year.
Mim gathers the rebound as he misses the second.
So now inside. Get the ball into Mim. If you're going to lose, let your best guy take the shot on the interior. Get it to Mim. He's got to step to the ball. See, he didn't step to the ball.
So we'll take a break. 1:12 left in this one. 67-60. UConn. We'll be right back.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is presented by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. And in part by the 2000 Mercuries. Mercury, live life in your own lane. And by Courtyard by Marriott, the hotel designed by business travelers.
So we're back at the Hartford Civic Center, and the storyline of this one tonight, second half field goals, 36% by Texas. Mim and Manecki, 28 points. For UConn in the second half, 54%. Mooring and Elamine, 31 points, 11 of 24. And actually, Dick, since UConn's last 16-point lead at 58-42, Texas on an 18-7 run. But I mean the poor shooting, of which the head coach is going to remind them of, 31% for the ball game.
They only turned the ball over once in the second half, but have not been able to shoot the ball well. But they battled back defensively. The M&M gang has certainly battled here in the second half. Manecki and Mim.
Here's Kelly, gets the inbounds pass and can't get it to go.
Voskel's made some big plays for him. There's the rebound by Voskel inside. Also the backcourt. This game has been won by backcourt play of Elamine and Mooring.
Kelly with his third foul.
Hey, I just want to simply say to Mrs. Thomas out there, I want to wish you the best. Denise Thomas had a little hip problem, a broken hip. Her son Dan, the manager, said from UConn, they're all thinking about you, Mrs. Thomas, and we wish you nothing but the best. Also to Mrs. Ryan, Rick Barnes' mother-in-law, really struggling right now physically. We send our best wishes to Rick's mom-in-law. We wanted to make sure we share that. Nice curl move right there.
Kelly knocks it down. A quick timeout with 57.2 seconds left. 5-point game again.
That was nice execution right there. Nice little curl move. Just seen Rob Lanier on that sideline. Fine assistant coach right there. Used to coach at Rutgers. Does an outstanding job. He's to the left of the screen. Related to Bob Lanier, former superstar, Hall of Famer.
By the way, we've been talking about shooting tonight. Texas 52% from the free throw line, but UConn is now at 56% because they have missed a lot in the second half. So it's not been a night that either coach would mark down as sterling as far as free throw or from the field.
Well, if you win the basketball game, you leave and you say, I got myself a win. It's really out of the league at this time of the year. And if you're Texas and you lose this game, you talk about how we can play one of the top teams in the nation, not shoot well, and yet we're here banging on the door with a chance to win.
So that Longhorn timeout just now means that they have only one left. Elamine takes that inbounds pass from Voskel. Now here comes the trap on him in the backcourt, and they clear it easily. Here's Robertson fouled by Wagner.
They go to a three-guard set now, playing Robertson together with Elamine and Mooring.
Sports Center still coming up right after this game.
See, the one thing with Connecticut now, but it's been that way throughout the decade, they've been really a marked team. Everybody playing at another level against them. And now even more so with that national championship banner flying high.
At the line for Connecticut, Tony Robertson.
What makes this guy so special, Mr. Calhoun? He'll remind them he's thinking about today. He's such an intense competitor, has such a passion for coaching, just loves to teach. And there's no doubt he's in command. And he owns a restaurant in here in this place. The coaches, he owns a restaurant. Can we go to get a free meal? You think we get a free meal?
He didn't mention that, Dick.
Well, we can get a free meal there.
69-62. Now under 50 seconds left in the ball game. Wagner gets it inside to Manecki, and he muscles his way literally in for the two.
That's a good call, Ron. There's no question he muscled his way in.
And Texas just called their last time out.
He just got himself down in deep, took the ball strong. 41 seconds. Miracles do happen. Look at Mr. Barnes. He looks younger and younger every time I look at the guy. He had LASIK surgery. He told me it was very successful. Very happy that he did it.
And when they set up last time, you guys on the back there, you got to be by yourself. You got to get the linebacker up there tight.
Here's that last play inside to Manecki.
See, Manecki's so strong on the inside. He just bulls his way to the goal. Just bulls his way to the hoop. I'm surprised the football coaches haven't got after him and made a tight end out of him.
Start to say, can you imagine that body at tight end?
Wow. Those hands?
Yeah.
Ooh, there's contact in the backcourt. You know that foul's going the other way.
Yep, McAlpin trying to make the steal and the obvious foul on him.
Yeah, didn't want any time to be taken off the clock. They were going for the steal and contact. They mentioned that LASIK surgery. Our producer want to wish him the best tomorrow at 10 a.m. Josh Hoffman goes in and has that done. Wants to get rid of those contacts and glasses. And Rick Barnes said very successful in his case.
Personal foul, 10th on the team. At the line for Connecticut, Khalid El Amin will shoot 2.
.12 points, 7 assists tonight for Mr. El Amin.
Chat with Kevin Freeman on ESPN.com immediately following the ball game.
I'll tell you, ESPN just amazes me. I've been there now, starting my 3rd decade. You talk about all online. You talk about ESPN Magazine, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPN News, ESPN International. It's unbelievable, Ron. It goes on and on and on. I'm so happy to be a little spoken attire at ESPN. And you can watch our guys, Stuart Scott and Dan Patrick on SportsCenter. And then tomorrow you can hear Dan Patrick on ESPN Radio.
Mim tossed it off Vosco that time. 24 seconds showing on the shot clock and the game clock. It's about 3 seconds more than that.
Big three. Daniel has no more timeouts.
No timeouts left, and Kelly will commit the foul. It's down to 4 points with 24.6 seconds left.
Well, it's down to making free throws right now. At the end of the game, you got to convert on a free throw line. This has been a sloppy game with a capital S. Jim Calhoun's got to be pleased. Talking to Jake Vosco, he's got to be pleased at least by his effort here tonight. He's made some big plays for him, set some good screens.
You know, Wagner just hit that three-pointer. Before that, Dick, he was 1 of 12 from beyond the arc. So now he is 2 of 13. But it couldn't have come at a better time.
That was Rick Majerus there holding the sign. I didn't know Rick was there. I thought he was getting ready to coach against San Diego State. Mooring really has played well. He has stepped up big against Pittsburgh and here tonight. The Big East will be interesting this year. I'll tell you, there's a lot of stops that Connecticut's going to make. They're going to have to really lace them up and come to play. They're not going to win because of reputation.
Wagner off balance. Can't get it to go, and Vosco will get the rebound.
Good inside position by Vosco. I don't know, maybe it's me, but I like a lot about his potential game. But he's a senior now, and that word potential has disappeared. It's time to do it every night.
Number 5, Ivan Wagner, has scored personal foul.
I tell you, somebody tell Jimmy he's winning. I really watched practice today. And what did I say to him? You were here. I said, Jim, I think your team must be 0-15. I don't think they won a game the way he's practicing. I mean, it's incredible. But that is what makes him so unique and so special. The fact that he cares so much, and it becomes reflected by the team. Did a great job at Northeastern as well. Mr. Stamos, our stat man, staring at me. He loves the college game. Sometimes he does the NBA, but he really loves being here at the college scene.
(75-67).
Sloppy play
by El Amin.
Bring it out. Bring it out. Take the time.
Saunders with the reverse.
Oh, I don't have to slap the ball away, though. See, that's the little things they're talking about. He scored. He slapped the ball away. Don't need that stuff, Ron. Just play. That's the part of the game that's really upset Jim Calhoun. But Connecticut gets the win. The Huskies get a W.
Wagner for 3. Not there, and Saunders will come down with the basketball.
Ladies and gentlemen, our final score is 77. Next is 67.
So the final score, UConn 77, Texas 67. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Along with Dick Vitale, I'm Ron Franklin. Thanks for watching.
Especially on the defensive side in a win over 15th-ranked Texas. The Huskies seem to have more trouble keeping their shoes and socks on during the game than containing the two Longhorn big men.
Guys just stepping on the back of them, and I'm coming right up out of them. But next game, I might have a new pair.
Having your shoes stepped on isn't nearly as bad as having your shot blocked. Texas All-America Chris Mim can attest to that. The 7-footer had several of his shots blocked in the first half, 3 of them by Edmund Saunders.
Yeah, it felt good inside. You know, I felt like yelling, but I kind of held back a little bit, you know. But I'm just glad we got a W today.
The Huskies blocked 9 Texas shots in the first half alone, 11 for the game, and it really was the defense that triggered the offense. Like on this play, Albert Mooring blocks a shot and then converts on the other end for 3. Mooring with 21 points, but also with a great defensive game.
We forcing the guards to put it down and take it to the hole, and you know they're pulling up in our face, and we get the hand on it.
I thought we did a tremendous job in the paint. I was really happy with all of our kids, and our rotations were good. And it was probably the best 10-man team win we had all year.
After leading by 7 at the half, the Huskies opened the second half, outscoring the Longhorns 12-4. Although Mim ended up with 18 points, the Husky defense continued to dominate the game.
It was a quiet 18, and that's what we needed, a quiet 18 from him.
After being down by as many as 16, Texas closed the gap to 5, but that dunk by Jake Voskuhl and then a 3-pointer from Khalid El Amin helped the Huskies hold on for the win, 77-67 the final.